Hello, everybody. It's Casey, and welcome back to the Inspire Fitness podcast. Today, I am here with day one of a brief mini series where we are going to be talking about some fat loss truths. And specifically today, we're going to be talking about what I would stop pretending if I wanted to lose 5 to 10 pounds by spring break. Okay, first off, I need to talk to you about I'm not talking about drastically cutting, being in restrictive mode, going to, detoxes and the extremes to drop weight quickly before your vacation. Okay. We're talking if you had about 5 to 6 weeks before a vacation where you don't just want to see a certain number on the scale, you want to feel good. You want your clothes to fit comfortably. Those shorts that you wore this past summer, or a favorite skirt, or a tank top, girl. I know you've been working hard. You've been strength training, you've been showing up, you've been putting in the effort, but things might not fit exactly how you want them to fit. And it is okay if you are desiring to tighten up with some things nutritionally, with your physical activity, and with your mindset to help you feel more confident and comfortable on your vacation. Okay, so we're not talking extremes here. We're talking about how would we go about this if we really wanted to lose a little bit of fat prior to our vacation, where we want to feel comfortable and we want to feel confident. And yes, this can happen in a healthy, sustainable way. Okay, so we're not going to extremes here. We're talking spring break. Maybe you've got a vacation coming up. Maybe you just know in the next couple of months you're going to be putting on some clothes that you maybe are a little bit worried that they're feeling a bit tight right now. If that is the case, this episode is for you. So, some of you may have a spring break vacation planned, and that is so exciting, something so nice to look forward to break up the winter, especially if you're like me, living in the northern climates. We need a nice sunny opportunity to get away once in a while. And if you have that, and if you really want to feel better in your clothes, by then, it's not just about a number on the scale, but if you really want to see a little more definition, to feel a little more firm, to feel like your skirt, your favorite skirt, is not like making you super uncomfortable to wear, then this episode is for you. And here's what I see often with women. They tell me, I'm trying, I'm doing all the things, I'm eating the healthy foods, I'm working out, I'm showing up for the workouts, yet I'm still struggling. I'm still feeling uncomfortable in my clothes. I'm not feeling incredibly confident at this point. And it's not because you're lazy or because you're doing it wrong. And it's definitely, unfortunately, not because your metabolism is gone, fortunately or unfortunately. We can't place all of the blame on our metabolism, okay? But it's because there are a few things that you may pretend are working when they are actually not. And we're going to talk about these today. And it might be a little bit hard truth, but if you're here for it, I'm hoping you'll find it to be helpful. So, we're going to walk through the exact steps that I would take to stop pretending if I truly wanted to drop some weight, 5 to 10 pounds by spring break, and what I would focus on instead. Now, and this is also like I guess saying that you have some weight to lose, right? Like we don't want to go extreme here. If you are already at a healthy weight, this episode isn't really speaking to you. Yes, you can do some of these habits, you can implement some of these suggestions, but if you don't truly have 5 to 10 pounds of weight to lose, then we don't need to go there, right? We don't want to be extreme. So, first off, here's what I would do. Here's what I would stop pretending. I wouldn't go to extremes. I wouldn't go to extreme restrictive mode. I would definitely not hit up any detoxes, okay? And I wouldn't keep telling myself I'm going to start over every single Monday, all right? We're going to talk about what actually works for honest, effective fat loss for women over the age of 40. And to start, we're going to stop pretending that clean eating automatically means I am in a calorie deficit and I should be losing weight. Okay. So, the very first thing we need to stop pretending, or at least acknowledge and recognize, is that I feel like I'm eating in a calorie deficit just because I'm eating healthy foods or I ate clean all week. This is a huge one. I see it very common, and I honestly fall into this trap myself, okay? Because I don't log my food all the time. I do go through periods of it where I'm going to kind of tighten up a little bit, and every single time when I go to log and track my foods, guess what? Yeah, I was just eating more than I thought, right? I'm eating mostly healthy foods. I avoid a lot of foods that aren't quote unquote good for me, but that doesn't mean I am in a calorie deficit. So if you are struggling to see physical changes in your body, if you're struggling to get that number to move, and you keep telling yourself, but I'm eating healthy. All these foods that I'm eating are healthy. They're great. That may be your issue. Okay. Yes, nutritious foods matter, and we want to prioritize healthy foods. But fat loss at the end of the day, true fat loss, where you're going to actually see your body utilize additional stores on your body and then see the scale move, happens when we have a negative energy balance, meaning we are consuming fewer calories than what our maintenance level is at. Okay. So healthy foods are amazing. And I love that they are making up a majority of your day to day intake. Things like almonds, avocado, adding olive oil to your roasted veggies, cooking the roasted veggies, maybe snacking on protein bars or different clean snacks. If you are eating these foods and you are not paying attention to how much of these foods you're eating or in combination of the additional foods in your diet, you may be eating more than you are realizing. And and you may be struggling to see that movement. So here is what I do to get honest. Here is what I would do instead to get honest. For a short window of time, I would get out the damn food tracker on my phone and I would start measuring my portions and I would start logging my food. This does not have to be forever, nor do I ever encourage logging and tracking your food to be a forever type thing, okay? We're not being obsessive about it, but we need to be intentional and intentional, not intentionable, intentional about the foods that are coming into our body, okay? Awareness isn't restriction. It is clarity. So when you start logging and tracking your foods and you can see how quickly those calories are adding up, this is information and this is awareness and clarity. And clarity creates progress, and information and data that you see in the food tracker can help you inform your decisions and create that change. Okay. So, logging, honestly, in my book, is a tool, and it is an incredible tool because it can be very, very eye opening. So, I know some of you just like freaked out when I said that, right? Like you said, I don't want to think about logging. I don't like logging. I don't know what the numbers mean. It's such a burden to me. It's a huge like inconvenience in my day. I get that. But logging and tracking your food does not mean that you failed. And it doesn't mean that you have to be incredibly rigid with your intake. And again, it doesn't mean that you have to do this forever, but the data that the app will give you, and the free version is fine. You can use whatever tracking method you appreciate. I like MyFitnessPal. I used the free version for years. I got to see a lot of really great data, and that data helps give me an indication of what's going on. And I could see patterns and I could see where I needed to adjust without emotion tied to that. And it helps me stop guessing, right? Like, I think I'm eating enough protein at my meal, or Casey says we should have about 25 grams of fiber in our day. I'm pretty sure I eat a lot of fiber in my day. Girl, no, you're guessing. All right. You're guessing. So if you want a different result in the next 6 weeks before your spring break vacation, guess what? You can't rely on guessing or on the good vibes or I'm eating these healthy foods. If you really want to see some physical change, you have to become aware of what is coming in and then make decisions based on that, right? You might be like, I'm not that far. If I just make a couple of these adjustments, I could be right within my calorie deficit. Or you may be like, oh, I had no idea I was eating so much food. I'm a ways away. Where can I start kind of peeling back a little bit? Okay. So logging is a tool. It is not punishment. We also need to think about when we're logging, guess what? You get some really great data on protein. All right. And you hear me talk about protein all the time, and it's not stopping anytime soon because it is so important, especially for women who are hoping to see change with fat loss or even body recomposition. Even if you're not trying to lose weight per se, you want to see more muscle and more tone and more definition. Protein is so important. Okay. And you may think, yes, I've got protein. I've got some eggs at my breakfast. I've got some chicken on my salad. I have, a pork chop in the evening. That's great. I love that you're thinking about protein. But guess what? 2 eggs is not a high protein breakfast, okay? You're talking 12 to 14 grams of protein total. Most women who are working towards fat loss need 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal to hit their daily targets, okay? A yogurt, Greek yogurt is a great option. But guess what? A little container of Greek yogurt might have 10 to 12 grams of protein. That is not enough. Or that little bit of tuna or chicken or salmon that you're putting on your salad. I love that you're eating vegetables and you're adding protein to it. However, is it enough protein? A 4 to 5 ounce serving of protein is going to get you 30 to 40 grams of protein. You know what doesn't? A size of a deck of cards. All right, 3 ounces. We were told all a long time, a deck of cards for your protein, right? Not enough. Like it's just not enough to hit that protein target. So for women over the age of 40, especially if you're working towards fat loss, protein is foundational. And yes, every meal is important. However, making sure you're eating enough is going to support your muscles, which will keep your metabolism working. It will help you feel more full and satisfied. It's going to help you regulate your blood sugar and provide additional opportunities for your body to recover from your workouts. So you're not feeling super fatigued and more prone to injury in the workouts. When your protein is not high enough, your hunger is loud and your cravings increase and your energy drops. And so if I wanted to lose fat by spring break, I would make protein an anchor at every single meal. And I would log and track my food to make sure that I am hitting my protein target. Not perfection, okay, but consistently enough to become pretty dialed into that protein goal. What's your protein goal, you ask? So glad you asked that. Individual needs vary, and I can do some calculations for you. However, approximately 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, which is typically your goal weight. Okay, so if you've got a lot of weight to lose, we don't need you to hit 1 gram of protein per your actual body weight. Let's focus a little bit more on goal weight and start there. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, goal weight. All right, so if you are a woman who's trying to lose fat and your goal weight is around 165 pounds, that should be your target. Okay, over 100 for sure. Many of you need much higher amounts than that. Okay, so protein, yes. Next up, fiber. Fiber is so important. Fiber is your friend. And we're going to talk about fiber in the Inspire Nutrition program tonight on our call. We have a call that we are going to focus on fiber. So if you need a little guidance or direction there, if you're in the nutrition program, you are in luck. Fiber doesn't get the hype that protein does, but it is almost as important, especially for women over the age of 40 who are working towards fat loss. Fiber helps with your digestion. It also enhances your fullness. It can also provide blood sugar balance, and it's good for your hormone health. Most women simply aren't eating enough. I find that most women are not eating enough by half, usually. Typically, I would recommend a woman's fiber intake should be about 25 grams per day. Depending on your needs, depending on your calorie intake, they may be a little bit higher. But if you're not hitting 25 grams of fiber per day, you got some work to do, okay? Because if your meals are low in fiber, you're going to feel more hungry and you'll snack more and your fat loss will feel harder because of that, okay? So this doesn't mean eating salads all day long. It means intentionally including high fiber foods all throughout the day. Yes, protein with every meal, but we have to balance it with that high fiber food. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and that combination of the protein and the fiber together, that is the winning ticket right there, right there. Okay. None of what I've shared today is complicated, but it does require a hard look at our intake and some honesty and some damn consistency, okay? And it also requires some follow through. So you may be logging your food for a day or two and you may think, all right, I got this. I'm going to make some changes here. Guess what happens a week or two later? We fall back into those old habits, and it's so easy in our head to pretend like we're still doing the right thing, right? But check yourself. I would suggest you log and track your food for a duration of 5 to 7 days to increase your awareness initially, and then use that data to inform your decisions and make some adjustments. And then if you are in a fat loss phase and you really are like committed, like, yes, Casey, I want to lose that 5, maybe get 8 pounds I want to lose so I can feel confident and comfortable and feel my best when I go on this amazing vacation with my family or my friends, right? First off, nobody else cares what you look like, but it's all about you, right? Like it's all about how I feel about myself and how you feel about yourself. So know that nobody else is going to care if you drop the 5 to 8 pounds, but as a woman, we want to feel good and we want to feel confident. And we will feel that way when our clothes are not incredibly tight or when I see some nice shoulder definition popping through those tank tops that I've been working so hard in my workouts to build, right? Or when I can just move a little bit easier throughout my day and do the fun things that I want to do without having to feel like I'm being dragged down or feeling uncomfortable, okay? So, most women are struggling with their fat loss, not because they don't know what to do, but because maybe they're not being 100% honest with themselves. Logging and tracking your food will keep you in check. It will keep you accountable. And yes, it will help inform your decisions if you use it as a tool for data. Okay. So this is just the first of a little mini series that I'm offering where we're talking about how can we get some fat loss going in maybe a period of 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks before your vacation. Again, not so you can hit a certain number, but so you can feel strong and fit and confident and enjoy yourself because you've been working so hard. Okay. So, over the next 2 episodes, we're going to be talking more about how to move your body in a way that actually supports what you're doing and your goals, as well as the habits and accountability that make the biggest difference in whether you stick with this or fall off again. Okay. So, if you've been saying, I just need to get back on track, I just need to stay focused for a couple of months, I just need to keep showing up consistently, like this little mini series, I got you. All right, come on back tomorrow. We're talking movement. We're talking why more cardio isn't the answer, which you've heard me say over and over and over again. But we're also going to talk about why you need some cardio and why lifting weights isn't just enough and why you need to prioritize daily movement to support your fat loss efforts. Okay. So come on back tomorrow. You'll hear some more, reminding you that you don't need to do everything. Okay. You just need to do the right things consistently. And it starts with being honest about what's really holding you back. So I look forward to chatting with you again tomorrow. I hope you'll come back for episode number 2 in the mini series. And oh, by the way, I have an opportunity for women in the Inspire Fitness program who are looking for just a bit of accountability and support because you already know what you need to be doing. You just need a little bit of support and guidance to keep you on the right track. Okay. So I've shared information with all of you in the Inspire Fitness program. You should have gotten an email from me as well, but I am hosting what is called the 6 weeks till spring break accountability experience in the Inspire Fitness program. And you can have all the details using the link below in the show notes to find the details and join us. We are officially kicking off February 9th. So that is literally 6 days from now. I would love to have you join us. It's going to be a great community of like-minded women who are working towards similar goals. And you have an opportunity to join us for this limited time offer. So I would welcome you. If you have any questions on that, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram, fit.nutritionist, or reach out to me on my website, inspirehw.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Casey Young, RD, CPT. Send me a DM anytime. I welcome them. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll look forward to chatting with you again tomorrow. Thank you so much.